Here at Mercy Care, as part of the integrative care program, I work with medical providers. And so the process is the individual comes into the clinic and they're seen by a medical provider for a wellness checkup or for a basic generic medical care visit. During that visit, they're given a questionnaire. It's a behavioral health screening, and they're asked different sorts of questions ranging from, do they spend a lot of time worrying? Have they been involved with behavioral health before? Would they like to speak to a behavioral health counselor? From there, I'm then connected with that person during that visit, and then we introduce them to the PSR program, psychosocial rehabilitation program. As a group facilitator, it allows me to have relationships with them outside of the medical provider room. And so if they're not quite ready to be assessed for further behavioral health issues, it allows me an easier kind of segue to get them, to keep them connected to Mercy Care. As a provider for PSR and also a provider here with Mercy Care, the most challenging thing I've found is having the ability to go home with them, if that makes sense. So a lot of the issues they bring in for an individual session and the things we talk about in a group session is really difficult because you have to detach yourself from feeling with them, and you have to teach them the skills to kind of deal with them on their own. But the things they share with you on an individual basis, you know exactly what they're going through. So that's the most difficult part for me, is for an individual who comes in and they pour their heart out, and I'm right there with them. And we're in a group setting, it's very vague and it's very generic, and so I know a lot of times they're holding back because they're scared of sharing some really intimate details with other ladies. But there's one story that sticks out to me as a young lady who was actually very afraid to come to group. She felt it was very invasive, and she felt as she was obligated to share her story, and she wasn't comfortable. But she kept coming to individuals, for individual therapy. She kept coming to see Antonetta, and there was a situation that happened where she needed a sleep study. She realized, and other residents, the same residents she was afraid to share, were informing her that she was stopping breathing. She stopped breathing during her sleep. She got connected with Grady. They wanted to get her a sleep study, but it cost $300. So she came back to me and she said, I don't know what to do. She said, I finally opened up to the ladies. I trust their opinion. They're wanting to help me. I'm snoring really loud. What can I do? So I reached out to Mercy Care. I reached out to Sister Angela, and they cut a $300 check. The resident was able to get a sleep study. She now has her own apartment, and she checks in with me from month to month just to tell me she's doing well. So I enjoy seeing them grow. I enjoy seeing them prosper, and that's probably the most rewarding part of working with PSR.